Hello guys, welcome to the BullTheory YouTube channel. We have a lot to talk about today, but before we get into it, I just want to remind you guys to check out the link in the description where you can get up to $200 in free Robinhood stock of Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, your pick. Also, if you haven't already, check out our BullTheory Elite group where you can get access to live entries and exits, video breakdowns, private Discord access, and a weekly economic report. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. So the sky must be falling. Look at this. We are at 26 fear. Last week we were at extreme fear. Oh, let's check cryptocurrencies market. Oh, okay. Well, we're at 29 fear. Okay, so we're pretty low. Let's check the chart. Let's see where we are on. We must be at 50K on Bitcoin, and we must be at 300 on S&P. Let's check S&P. Oh, oh. Oh, it's at 600. Oh, okay. Okay, so, oh, it's at 600. It's at all-time highs. Let me just make sure I get this straight. We're 26 fear, and we're at all-time highs for the S&P. Let's check Bitcoin. Oh, we're at 29. We're at 29 fear, and Bitcoin is sitting at support at 107. Surely I would have thought Bitcoin was at $30,000 by now. I mean, I could have sworn we would have been at 70, 80,000 all the way down here. No, we're at 107,000. Guys, I'm just going to point that out for emphasis to just help you guys understand the type of market environment we're in right now. The risk to reward of another bull side or another leg up, if you will, to the upside, is so high right now that I couldn't even like lay it out. Like, I want to visually let you guys know how this would work, because this is how I would teach you guys in this channel, right? Let's just say, for instance, we're talking about risk to reward. Let's just talk about risk to reward, for instance. So in terms of Bitcoin, right? Originally, I thought, because when we were at $124,000, I was thinking, okay, Bitcoin could probably get 130,000. We go into altcoin season or whatever, altcoin pumps or whatever. People are scared of saying altcoin season nowadays. I don't know why, but they're scared because anyways. So, like, example of what I'm talking about in terms of risk to reward. You can set an invalidation point right around $100,000 for Bitcoin. If it breaks below $100,000, that's where you can exit. But let's just set this to right here. But I think the actual target now is right around $150,000 to $155,000. So your entry is at 107. So say, for instance, you were to take this trade right now today. I'm not recommending this. This is not financial advice. Let's just say you were to take this trade. Your stop loss is at below $100,000. And your take profit is 150,000 to 155, give or take. You have a risk reward ratio of 7.64. So guys, even on Bitcoin itself, the trade is asymmetric. I haven't seen such an asymmetric trade on Bitcoin ever since the first time the tariff collapse happened in March and April. I missed this trade. I missed it because I was scared and I was fearful. And so what I'm trying to tell you guys is this: don't be scared and fearful. Don't get scared because you think that the market's going to drop. Just all you have to do is set a clear stop loss. Like, that's the reason why we have stop losses. That's the reason why we have invalidation points, because as soon as you get stopped out, okay, great. You got stopped out. You were wrong. Your thesis didn't play out. But if your thesis plays out right now, guys, the risk reward to the upside is so high that it wouldn't make sense not to long. It wouldn't make sense not to go long. Now, if we start to drop below $100,000 and we start to set weekly closes below the 200 moving average, the 50-week moving average, then we can consider talking about a bear market. But from here, guys, we're still in a bull market. We're still in an uptrend. Bitcoin retesting 107 or 104, all these different levels right now at this point in the cycle. is not a horrible thing, because it's kind of further validating the fact that we might get an extended period based off the 18.6-year cycle, which right now the risk reward couldn't be higher. I mean, you have a clear invalidation at $100,000. If we start to break below $100,000 and we start to set weekly closes below the 50-week moving average, then we can start thinking about an extended bear market. But for now, so long as Bitcoin is above this previous resistance, and now turning it to support, I think we're good. I think everything is good. And so going back, just jumping back to the S&P 500, I mean, you would think that the S&P 500 being at 20, or the Fear and Greed Index on CNN being 26, we'd be at an absolute bloodbath. I mean, think about how much the market dropped, 21%, the last time the S&P 500 was at 20 or 15 to 20 fear, and on the Fear and Greed Index, we were at extreme fear. We dropped 21%. The max drawdown we had so far, obviously we can drop further, but the max drawdown we had was 3%. 3.10, 3.09 if you want to get right down to the dot, okay? So we're sitting at a max drawdown of 3.09 in the S&P 500. We're at 667, 67, yeah, 67. Just to disregard that joke. But anyways, we're at 667 on the S&P 500. QQQ is at 605. I mean, this used to be Wonderland. The NASDAQ being at 605 used to be Wonderland in March and April. Now everyone is losing their minds because the NASDAQ dropped 3 or 4% and we're at 605. The S&P dropped 3 or 4% and we're at 667. So again, I'm just saying this for emphasis, because it's extremely easy as investors and as traders to get caught up in the short-term price action and what is going on in the news. But when you take a step back, guys, hindsight is 2020. So when I'm telling you, all you have to do is, if you're scared, set a stop loss. That's all I'm saying. Set a stop loss. That's my recommendation. Set a stop loss if you want to go long on Bitcoin. 107 is it's one of the best setups I've seen this entire cycle, because not only are we at max fear, 29 fear on the stock market and cryptocurrency market cap, but all you have to do is just set your invalidation below 100,000 and you're good. So that's the type of mindset I'm trying to get you guys to understand, because in trading, you have to understand risk to reward. What does risk to reward mean? It's very simple. Risk to reward literally means how much can I make relative to how much am I willing to lose. That's all risk to reward is. That's all I'm trying to get you guys to understand, because that's how you have to think as a trader. I think a lot of people think about trading like they think to themselves, oh man, I don't want to lose money out. Guys, it's inevitable you're going to lose money in trading. It's almost like, I don't think I've ever seen or heard of any of the biggest, the best traders, the hedge funds, Peter Lynch, Ray Dalio, Stan Druckenmiller. I don't think I've ever heard them say that I've never taken a loss before. And trading, it's inevitable. If you're going to trade and you're going to want to learn how to trade, you're going to take losses at some point. And that's why setting stop losses, that's why having clear invalidation points, that's why having a plan is very important, because then you can just make sure you lose. Okay, let's just say you're losing 2% or 3% of your trade, but then you're able to make 20, 30, 40% in leverage, okay? Or however you're trading. So that's the bottom line. That's the reason why I wanted to go over first the macro levels that we're at right now, the S&P, the Fear and Greed Index, and the QQQ, just so I can get you guys to understand exactly where we might be. I'm not saying that we're at this, $70,000, $80,000 April tariff lows, or we're at 500 on the QQQ or 500 on the SPY or whatever it is, right? I'm not saying that we're there. I'm saying the setup can be similar. I'm not saying we can have another 20% run from here. What I'm saying is that we maybe have 5, 10, 10, maybe even 8%. I can easily see the S&P getting to 720 from here, especially with all the fear in the market. That's what I'm trying to say. The setup itself in the market right now is completely one of the best setups I've seen in this entire bull market cycle, hands down. I can't even. The crazy thing is that I remember when I was talking to my brother, I was like, dude, I literally wish I could buy Bitcoin at 75,000 or 80,000 or Ethereum at 1,600, because I knew in that moment, I was like, I should have bought. I went back to the chart and I was like, I don't know why I didn't buy, because I couldn't understand why did I not buy. Guys, hindsight is 2020. When you're in the moment, everything seems like Twitter's saying that bear market's here. Trump is on the news. Tariff, no tariffs, tariffs, no tariffs, tariff. Guys, there is max bear, max fear, max capitulation right now, pretty much. I mean, we just saw ADA drop to 27 cents last week. If that's not max capitulation, I don't know what is. Okay, what is it going to go to 1 cent? It's going to go to 0? I mean, yeah, it could go to 0. I mean, Adam Cosmos went to 0. But the thing is that I'm trying to say is that cryptos are so low that the risk to reward and the risk to the upside is actually higher, and it's actually more than the risk to the downside. There is something in trading that's called asymmetric risk. And what asymmetric risk means, the amount of money that you can make to the upside actually far outweighs the amount of money that you can lose to the downside, no matter how you want to play it. If let's just say, for instance, I wanted to put $50 in. If I can turn that $50 into 250, but I can my max drawdown is $50. That is a 1 to 5 risk to reward ratio. That is asymmetric risk. And so that's all it means. So all I'm saying is that the market itself right now is in an asymmetric environment where anything that you buy could end up making you money. ADA, Ethereum is at 3,700. Bitcoin is at 107. The S&P just went down 4%. Nvidia is at 180. It was at 200 the other day. Solana is down. Let's check Solana. Solana's at 178. And so the point is that if you think there's going to be a continuation of the bull market, it would make sense to buy now. And all you have to do is just set your stop loss below $100,000 on Bitcoin, or set your stop loss below, maybe give or take 55 cents on ADA, or set your stop loss below this last low of Ethereum, 3,400. And those are your clear invalidation points, because if it breaks the last macro low, then, we might be in for a treat. If it breaks the last macro low, 52 cents, we might be in for a treat. Breaks the last macro low. It's very clear and it's very easy to see. So I'm taking a lot of this video to explain the macro setup itself and why I'm so bullish, because every single trade that I see is so asymmetric. The only other time that I saw asymmetric trades this good was back in 2023 when Bitcoin was at like $18,000, $20,000, and Ethereum was at literally $1,200, like $1,100. Solana was at $20. Everything was so low that if you bought anything, you would have made money in that point. And the point that I'm trying to make is that now could be those times. I'm not saying that now is that time, but I'm saying we're in a similar setup. Because if we go into a bear market, if we go into a macro bear market, that would mean that altcoins never went up. And that would mean that Ethereum never decisively broke past this all-time high, because that's never happened in any bull market cycle of all history. The last 10 to 15 years crypto has existed, Ethereum has barely broke the all-time high and then went straight back down. Never, not a single time. Yes, it's only been around since 2016, but you can say this is around 10 years of data right here. It's never done that before. We've already had 1, 2, 3, 4. This is Ethereum's 4th cycle. So it's never tried to break and didn't decisively break past. So inherently, as a bear, you would be saying that this time is different. You don't want to say this time is different in trading. That is a number one thing or mistake that a trader can make, is saying this time is different. I'm saying this time is not different, that Ethereum will break out, go to $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, Bitcoin will most likely break out again, probably go above $126,000 now. And ADA will most likely go to $2-3. It can go to $4 or $5 even, right? This is the type of thing that I'm trying to say right now, is that all of the risk is to the upside. What the bears are trying to call for, what the bears are saying, is that we could be entering a 2000 style bubble or a 2008 style bubble where everything just crashes and collapses, and it takes 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years to recover. But remember, in the first technical analysis video that I created for you guys, 1929 crash, literally everyone was saying that it took months and months and months to recover. But I said it before, and I'm going to say it again. Guys, it didn't take 10, 15, 20 years. When you average out the returns of the dividend yields that Dow Jones was giving at the time, and on top of that, the deflation that the entire world was going through at the time, it didn't take, it says right here, it took 20 years. It actually only took 7 to 8 years for the market to fully recover. So on the worst case scenario, let's just say ADA goes literally to 1 cent and it goes to literally goes to zero. Bitcoin goes back to 10,005, it goes to $1. Ethereum goes to $1. Worst case scenario, if you have money to buy, say for instance, you literally even have $10, you will be able to make all of your money back and more. You can put $10 on freaking 50x leverage or something. You will be able to make all of it back, because guys, I'm telling you right now, that's how it works on these severe downturns. When a market drops, let's say for instance 80, 90% like it did in 1929, no one has money anyways. So if you put money in again at the bottom and you don't give up, you reward it most of the time. I mean, 4 to 5, 6 years later, you're already up. Look at this, 200% gain. So when everyone is around you crying and screaming and getting so sad and upset and saying there's going to be a huge bear market, saying there's going to be a 2000 style bubble crash, there's going to be 2008, 1929, the actual worst thing that has ever happened in the financial markets themselves, if you buy the bottom, you make so much money comparative to everyone who's screaming and crying and hollering and sad that they lost money. Just go sell something, put it back in the market. Remember, this is not financial advice, but you'll be able to make all of your money back because of how low the market is. And even if you don't put a lot of money in, you'll be able to make a significant majority of your money back. The main reason I'm saying this is because from a statistical perspective, trading the upside is always going to have a higher probability of a win rate than trading the downside. That I just want to let you guys know that it's always, no matter what, it's going to be a higher statistical probability of making money to the upside. And so we're going back to Bitcoin. We're going back to ADA, Ethereum. And I just want to, this video is just kind of like a mindset video. I'm going to go into some of the key indicators in a little bit of the reason why I don't think the bull market's over. But it's just really a mindset video. I'm zooming out again to show you guys we are either at the peak or bottom of like whatever downturn this is happening right now, or at the start of the bear market. Or at the start of the bear market, boom, set your stop losses. That's very simple. All you have to do is set your stop losses. Yes, you know, there's something that's called stop hunts and sort of thing, but you do want to protect capital even in an event of a stop hunt, because right now we're so low that the invalidation isn't even that much lower to the point where you would lose that much more relative to how much you can make. So it's all about risk to reward ratios, guys. That's what I'm just trying to stress right now, is everything is about an asymmetric risk right now. ADA at 60 cents, Ethereum at 3,700, Bitcoin at 107. At the beginning of the bear market, or we're at the start of a very, very vicious leg up again. Now, after the start of the bear, just buy the bottom still, because you'll be able to make so much money by the time it returns, even if there is a 1929, 1930s, 2000, 2008 style bubble crash where everyone loses money. If you still just continuously dollar cost average, you keep buying, you will make money unless the market ceases to exist itself, because the actual natural gravitation of the market is going to be up no matter what in perpetuity forever. That's how it works. So if you buy, you'll make money eventually. So don't get scared out. Don't think to yourself that because I'm scared that the market's going to crash like from the tariffs and we're going to go into a giant recession. That's when you buy. When everyone thinks that the market is going to collapse and rug everyone, it's going to go to zero, the worst case scenario, when everyone thinks that, that is when you buy. So mindset video, guys, this is a mindset because I want you guys to understand how this works, how this market works. So now with all that being said, let's just get into the last portion of the video where I just want to explain to you guys when the market is like this, the only thing you can do is just say we're at support. I'm a macroeconomic trader and I'm also support and resistance trader. When we're at support, this is the main thing you can do for yourself and for if you're entering a trade. You can just say Bitcoin's at macro support. If it holds this level, boom, we'll be fine. Right now, Bitcoin looks like it's holding this level. So in terms of technical analysis, in terms of the actual macro structure, everything is still intact so far. And in terms of ADA, right, we still haven't broken this last low at 59 cents. We could, some people think we can fill this wick, whatever, go back to 27. Sure. The reason why I was saying that earlier is because I think that the risk to the upside is actually far greater than the risk to the downside. If you miss out on a pump from ADA from 59 or 60 cents all the way back up to $2, you're missing out on a potentially a 300% gain, as opposed to if you were just set your stop loss at like, let's just say 50 cents. Okay, you lost 10% and you're in leverage. Okay, boom, you set your stop loss on leverage. It's very simple, guys. Trading is very simple if you allow it to be. If you make it too complicated and you start to say, I'm going to get the liquidity sweep of the low and then I'm going to try to time it to 47 and it's going to go to the ICT premium. No, just make it very simple, especially if you're a beginner. Set your stop losses below macro support and set your take profit at levels where you are going to probably start screenshotting it because you're happy you're going to put it on Instagram. That's probably what I'd say. Just make it very simple. Make it very simple for yourself. Don't overcomplicate it. So with that being said, yeah, Bitcoin is at macro support right now. Nothing has changed in the macro environment. I want to tell you guys something right now. So there are 3 incredibly ridiculously beyond so superbly bearish catalysts that I've heard. This is so bearish. I actually am taking it back to 2022. I haven't heard the market this bearish since 2022. I'm going to tell you the catalyst right now. Jamie Dimon was on the news the other day. He thinks that the Jeffries and, that downfall that they just had, what was it? They went down 30%. He thinks that there's going to be a 2008 or whatever, he thinks there's going to be a credit cycle collapse, which is entirely possible. Jamie Dimon thinks there's going to be a credit cycle collapse. But Jeffries already went down 40%. So, okay. So Jamie Dimon thinks there's going to be a credit cycle collapse. Okay, great. Because there's a couple of banks that went down. They took a hit from the bad portfolio that they had. They lent to a couple of people they shouldn't have lent to. But, that's the game. But most people think is that the market's going to crash just like it did in 2008, where we have a credit crash where all the banks had terrible balance sheets. They were lending to the people that they shouldn't have been lending to. No one can get their money back. No one can get the liquidity back. It's over. That's what Jamie Dimon thinks. So that's just one. Jamie Dimon was on the news the other day. And then on top of that, on CNN or CNBC, I literally saw Zelensky near the White House and they were talking about Putin and Russia and World War III and the fact that China is going to join and they're buying gold bars because the US dollar is going to go to zero and they're going to start World War III. World War IV is going to break out and everyone's going to get attacked and the invasion is going to start. They're literally saying World War III is going to break out. Okay, that's the second one. I'm like, whoa, okay, World War III itself is going to start, which is, again, it's a possibility. I'm not ruling it out, but it's a possibility. So World War III is going to happen. Okay, great. So not only World War III is going to happen, 2008 is going to happen, but also at the same time, Trump's tariffs are going to completely and utterly annihilate the economy to the point where everything goes to zero because he's going to announce 155% tariffs on November 1st and China's going to go to zero. Every neighboring country that is in support of China is going to go to zero. Everything's going to disappear. Everyone's going to lose their money because tariffs are here, and we're all going to go to hell. Like it's but literally, I was sitting here and I was like, guys, do you really think that Zelensky's going to start World War III? Trump's going to announce 155% tariffs on China, and on top of that, 2008 bubble is going to happen again? All three catalysts at the same time? Really? Really? But then yet again, Bitcoin is at 107. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going crazy or not, but I think, in my personal opinion, that when people say that World War III is going to start, and when people say, when Jamie Dimon says 2008 is going to happen again in the next month or two, and when people say that Trump is going to have 155% tariffs on China by November 1st, and tariffs are going to wreck our economy to the point where everyone loses so much money that we can't even survive anymore. And everyone says on CNBC, I'm inclined to take the stance of a more contrarian perspective. Because the last time they said that, the last time we had these catalysts, I'm just going to zoom out and I'm going to show you guys this. Where did Bitcoin go after they said World War III was going to happen? After they said Trump was going to announce 155% tariffs on China? After they said the banks are having trouble with liquidity? What happened after that? In March and April. And I'm just thinking, like, the invalidations are clearly there, and all you have to do is set your stop loss. And if you're wrong, you lose a little bit more money. But if you're right, you can make so much money comparative to all the people who are going to miss out because they're saying that World War III is going to start tomorrow. I mean, if World War III was going to start tomorrow, I'm pretty sure Bitcoin wouldn't be at 107. Pretty sure it'd be a lot lower. Okay, so the fact that it's still here is actually enough evidence for you in general in the first place. And so after all of this, I just want to show you some data as to why I don't think the bull market is going to be over in the next couple of months or whatever. I think we're actually going to be still moving higher. So it's because, boom, we had the daily exchange volume breakout, but right now it's retesting the same range of 67. So we got the breakout. We almost like, for a split second, we were breaking out. And this was when the market was most likely going to start to rip. As soon as this happened, right before the liquid mass $19 billion liquidation event happened, this was right before we were breaking out, and then boom, we went straight back down after that because everyone got liquidated. So that's just one thing. I think we're retesting this range. I think we're retesting this breakout range, and if we can break back up, boom, we're back, right? So that's another thing that I think we can easily get to. I mean, we already reached 100 billion. Now at this point, I think we can easily get to around 100. I think we're going to break the last 2021 high. I think we're most likely going to get to 200 billion in daily exchange volume, most likely at the peak though. I think in the middle, when everything is surging, we'll probably be at around 140 to 150 billion. Right now, guys, we're at 67 billion on the exchange volume, so everything is dull. No one wants to trade. No one wants to buy. So if you're still going to buy, you're getting a killer deal right now. I'm telling you guys. Not financial advice, but that's just one reason. Another reason is that everyone said altcoin season was here. Everyone said altcoin season was, oh my gosh, I'm making so much money. Woo! September 11th, altcoin. Okay, let's check the altcoin season that we had. Let's check the September 11th. Oh. Okay, this is just ADA. It was at 91 cents. Okay, this ADA. Let's check ETH. Check ETH's altcoin season. Oh, it was at 4,600. So let's check Solana's altcoin season. It was at 230. It didn't even break out from the last high. It was at 2. It couldn't even get above the 2021. That's altcoin season for you. So altcoin season, their definition of altcoin season was a $4,500 ETH, a $230 Solana, and a 91-cent dollar Cardano. I understand that those are not all the altcoins that exist, but just for reference, just for example, that was the altcoin season. September 11th, 2025. We had a $4,500 ETH. Okay, perfect. So with that being said, guys, remember, I don't think this time is different. I think Ethereum will decisively break above $49,000 to $5,000. I don't think that we're going to barely get above 4,800 and then the cycle is over. I could be wrong. But that just wouldn't make much sense to me from a macro perspective, okay? So that's the second reason why I think that the cycle itself isn't over. The third reason why I don't think that Bitcoin cycle is over, and the reason why I don't think the bull market's over, is because if you just go back to the monthly chart on Bitcoin and you pull up a simple RSI, you can clearly see that each and every single time we peaked in the bull market, and ever since 2013, you can clearly see the first cycle, right? We had a blow off top in the RSI. Okay. So we peaked in 2013. Boom. Above 75 in the RSI. Peak in 2017. Above 75 in the RSI. Peak in 2021. Above 75 on the monthly chart RSI. In every single cycle, we have had a decisive breakout above 75 on the monthly chart RSI, and Bitcoin broke above that, and that was the blow off top. That was the peak of the price in the cycle, the bull market cycle. So not only is everyone saying the bull market's over with the fear and greed being at 29, Trump announcing 155% tariffs, China saying they're going to start World War III, but monthly chart RSI hasn't even broke above 75. So almost every single thing, in my personal view, is pointing towards the fact that the risk to the upside is far greater than the risk to the downside. I think the trade is extremely asymmetric, and I think that we still have a decent amount to go. Despite this cycle playing for a decent amount of time, it's been since 2023, I still think we have a decent leg up from here. That's just my opinion. That's just what I think. That's just where my analysis points to. Judging off of indicators like Ethereum not breaking out, judging off of indicators like altcoins not breaking out, judging off of even a very simple indicator like the monthly chart RSI on Bitcoin not even breaking out. Simple things like that. And then the fact that everyone on Twitter, on crypto Twitter, is saying that they know that the cycle's over and they know that it's over, Trump ruined it, and we're done, and everyone's going to lose their money, and everyone has to go back to working at McDonald's. I don't know. I don't think that's how bull markets end. Most of the time, bull markets end with everyone saying that they want to trade crypto, or everyone saying they want to buy Bitcoin, or everyone saying they want to. How can I set up my Robinhood account? How can I set up my Coinbase? When everyone says that they want to do we have people lining up to buy gold at Costco or at different places. That's a bull market. Now, see, that is what a bull market looks like. A bull market for crypto doesn't look like Bitcoin slumping down with a 29 on fear and barely breaking above the 75 on the monthly chart RSI and altcoins at 0. That does not look like a crypto bull market to me. I mean, just for instance, I mean, look at gold, guys. Look at what gold looks like right now. This is what can get people lining up to buy gold outside. Look at this. People are lining up. This is a bull market. Just to let you guys know. If you didn't know what a bull market looks like if it's a metal, if it's real estate, if it's a crypto, if it's a stock, when you see people on Instagram and on TikTok and on Twitter and not every bull market has to look this way. I'm not saying that every bull market has to be, euphoric, but it's just an example of what a bull market can look like. So yes, Bitcoin's bull market can end here, and it doesn't have to be a euphoric blow off top where Bitcoin goes to $500 million and everyone gets rich. I'm not saying that has to happen, but what I will say is, judging off my analysis and judging off the key indicators, when I see people lining up to buy gold online, but then they're also saying that Bitcoin's going to zero, I cannot help but wonder exactly what will happen if Bitcoin actually gets a breakout above 120 to 130,000 or 140. That's where I think a real like euphoric move or like a blow off top can happen, is if Bitcoin can get up right above 126,000, 130,000, and decisively breaks above it and shows and it gets above the 75 on the monthly chart RSI, right? So that's where I think we're heading to. I'm not saying it has to happen, but again, that's where I think we're heading to. All these factors playing out, people lining up to buy gold. Last thing I want to show you guys is the Bitcoin versus gold chart. Most of the time Bitcoin tops and it breaks above the last high on the Bitcoin versus gold chart before it tops. We haven't even got a decisive break above the Bitcoin versus gold chart. So again, there's a lot of things that are lining up to me that are telling me that the cycle most likely isn't over, but it can be over. It can be over. Bitcoin can only just top at 126. ADA doesn't ever get to $2. ETH never got above 4,900. Solana never got to $300, $400, and it's all over. But people are still just buying gold on the streets for some odd reason. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I'm thinking about right now. I mean, the fact that Bitcoin versus gold hasn't broke out above its last all-time high is leading me to believe that we still have some more further upside to go. But, obviously, can be wrong. So anyways, without further ado, I just want to end the video off with that note, just showing you guys the Bitcoin gold chart. And I want you guys to chart this on your own as well. I want you guys to, make a trading view account, pull up charts like ADA/BTC, look at the lows and analyze it yourself. Is it worth buying? Okay. Look at the others ETH chart. Is it worth buying at these lows? Look at the total 3. Total 3 just had a dip. Is it worth buying? Analyze it yourself and understand and weigh out the risk reward for yourself so you can learn how to trade. This is what I'm doing this for. I want you guys to learn how to trade. I want you guys to learn how to trade right and swing trade right. So without further ado, make sure to subscribe, like, comment, say that Bitcoin's going to the moon in the comments, say that Bitcoin's going to Mars, it's going to the universe, it's going to the universe of the skies, it's going so high you don't even know what universe is going to. Comment it's going to the high. Comment it's going to the high skies, okay? Comment that below, and then like, subscribe, share the video, subscribe to YouTube, subscribe to the Patreon. Look at the description. You can get $200 of free stock. Make sure you pay attention to our Discord as well, because I just also announced that I was entering a ADA swing long with 10x. Liquidation was at 60, but then boom, I exited because I saw the price action was unfavorable. Guys, you're getting the callouts down to the minute on this. You're getting the callouts down to the minute on Discord. So make sure you subscribe to the Patreon so you can join the Discord. Make sure you check out the Robinhood link in the description. And without further ado, I will sign off, and make sure to put your life savings into crypto so you can make millions of dollars. Anyways, I will catch you guys later.